Grief takes its final rest, which can be interrupted in a moment of relapse, serving to remind that this song has been played and we are on to green pastures with memory intact, that what was will always be. Grief and or no grief. I'll see you again under different circumstances. And though your face may change, I will know you. Of this, I am certain. Isn't that the point? This is where I bid farewell to an old friend who has accompanied me but can go no further into the light with me. I celebrate the loss and embrace this new normal by picking up the shards, placing them in a neat pile, and thus watching them disintegrate into liquid matter, its pre-gaseous state where the beauty of oblivion awaits me. We part ways and remain true in that place where we combusted and brilliance filled the blinding precipice with peace. I look grief in the face with no curiosity or desire to delve deeper, and no further questions, Your Honor, is all that I can muster as we sat on that bench looking while another saw. This is a new place. Stillness brews within me as I realize our relationship has changed. As we engage in the face-off, the trial commences with tears streaming down the face of misperception. Grieving and sorrow have their place as what they progress into is the result of how one saw in the frame in which they were presented. I am resolved in the reality that what was given to the brilliant death of me is a perfect picture of revivification. I am neither seeking to be sold nor needing to buy. Free to hear the sound that is only heard in this state of varying dimensions within consciousness, to the degree of emptying to remain at rest amid the traveling salesmen panning their wares. Free to unveil the essence that has found its sardonic close to an opening that serves to remind until the brilliance blinds to the power of willed blindness and deafness. With each new connector being filled in a posture that appeared foreign now screams familiarity to the nth degree. Now to unload this burden of gathered information and embrace subliminal data, finding plugs that I was unaware even existed. I shake off the bells and whistles of my known existence in the hopes of being known again, being ever remembered at every turn to a restored appearance, while knowing truth which always was and always will be. To pre-exist in the realm of brainless minds and bloodless hearts, to pulsate amid the jargon of a world that, though having had its place, no longer offers comfort. Arriving in this place where all the unanswered questions and contextual thesis converge in this sea of unknown to be seated within the framework of remembrance. This existence is to be understood from a place within and allowed to divulge its course over time, whether one participates in its camaraderie-like shakedown or opts to appear innocently standing by, it will produce the same result. The way is made, and the knowing resurfaces to yield the fruit of nothingness, breeding contentment, power, purpose, and solidarity within the confines of a heart and mind that needs no blood or brain waves to live. For it is in their very cessation that the truth becomes apparently clear. Emptiness and nothingness are not one and the same, yet both are quantified in the moment that the scope unveils with clear-cut direction. The window has opened over the course of time, fastened to the eternal hinge of a revolving door of nothingness, continual, repetitious nothingness. Now is filled with endless possibilities, doors and windows carved like cloud-filled statues, projected in the sky of one's mind to give way to a place that has lain dormant and silent. Today is the new day. It has passed away, and however it was once viewed remains true at that juncture alone. It is coming to terms with existence as it is right now, today, and in this moment alone, not seeking to recapture what one counts as loss. Directions can be taken amid the most charbroiled compasses, seeking to regain what was not meant to be captured, even though recognized afar. Realizing the closer I get, the more aware I become of how far really is. I am no longer content to wander aimlessly. I move amid the combusted matter, gathering hope lost as the wind carries and tosses me in every direction before grounding me here. Pulsating not, for the missile has found its target, I explode into pieces of infinitesimal partitions, shrouded in puffed up possibilities, shooting air through collapsed veins. Coursing through an already emptied vessel, it shatters the flow of enzymes and under its tutelage leads further into this dark abyss of clavicle displays. Fate sealed within the confines of my own perception, claiming a position that through appearances seems to warrant investigation. Though the space appears vast and empty, it is attributed to dulled vision rather than a frosted lens, repainting a picture in obscurity. Telescopic assistance serves no real purpose here, for the eyes cannot touch what has not been seen. Riddling a mind lost in the distant past, searching to connect the dot that can only be seen with microscopic vision. It erodes under the veil of rotting flesh filled with the formidable character dancing through alleys looking for bones to reconstruct a body that has been broken, scattered, and tossed away in recollection of the true essence of atomic magnitude. This has led me to this place where brilliance abounds, hidden deep within the confines of an existence yet to be unleashed and untapped. I was more lost than I found, disillusioned once again, paraded in a parody of ill-placed ambition, ceding to the strife laced with bitter anguish that tormented me to the point of oblivion. Only too willing to let it all go because it has not been worth the fight. I realized that the efforts outweighed the benefits. As the water covers me, producing this neurotic phase filled with wonder, awe, and splendor, I desperately try to remember. It is a welcomed addition to this world, earmarked for a path housed with crevices, expanding at every turn. My eyes are squinting against the brilliant light that is shining all around. Silence is all around, where once the voices were so loud that shrieks of panic, disillusion, and destruction folded into one, becoming a muffled rendition of what once was. Dust is settling where it once erupted in clouds of billowing rivulets. I open my eyes and survey the lands around me. Here we go again. A breeze stirs in the distance and a smile rises. Sweet solitude is my anchor of unrequited love and passion. I choose to sit here and be enveloped in what I already am, knowing there is no other place but here for me to be. Opening my hand to watch all things once held loosely flitter in all directions, carpeted away to lands, foreign lands, as I stand seated in nothingness, embracing the possibility and finding peace at the most unlikely junctures. The moment that possession becomes the motive, all fades to black and one takes the fast track to the place of rediscovery, to relearn what was untaught in the moment that the decision was made to possess. To seize the moment is to let go with no expectation, for it is in surrendering that all things become apparently clear and available. To leave it as it was found for the next weary traveler to be refreshingly enlightened, to engage in a similar discussion of vastly different inferred audiences. Sadly mistaken are the fools who rush in to seize what was meant for beholding, to be embraced and not possessed. Beauty changes its presentation for nothing and no one. With each passing moment, the hour draws near where we will be thrust into a full-blown discussion with another adversary and presented with another opportunity to make peace. We move forward in our journey back into wholeness. Preparedness established within the climb to a position no longer exists here. Swept up in the previous storm, for there are new steps to be climbed, new barges to be forged amid this place that travels ever so lightly. A reconstructed edifice that houses sandpits and coral reefs amongst other seafaring wares that will serve to buoy diligence amid the rough seas that are sure to surface. A place that swelters in the heat of the day for a sip of refreshing abatement to solidify what has been liquefied in the face of sudden adversity and quiet destruction. To be seated in a place that requires no explanation or textbook analysis. It is here where there is much to be gained, where all is lost to the grasp of sanctity in the confines of sweet oblivion and restful tranquility of heart, and where the beat goes on despite the stilling solace of inactivity. It is here, in this moment, that the barrage of autonomous illusions dissipate and one comes face to face with one's true reality of nothingness. Reality awaits its turn to be introduced as the standard pleasantries are exchanged amid the same chaotic undertone, knowing that it won't be long before the music stops. And the curtain falls again. Does the hidden meaning become apparently clear or distantly faint as the clouds rush in to fog the rooms, mesmerize the occupants, and dazzle its host? Does the hidden meaning become apparently clear or distantly faint? Truth supersedes beyond perceived projections to fully recover a loss that served an appearance only as we revisit this old familiar place to review the same stanza with a different melody. Truth supersedes beyond perceived projections. To fully recover a loss that served in appearance only, as we revisit this old familiar place to review the same stanza with a different melody. The solitude sought accompanies without a word until awareness unblocks the path and light shines on what was beaten beyond recognition. It awaits another opportunity to fall on ears perked to the possibilities abounding outside the scope of the mirage that has cultivated a new normal while forsaking the past in the hopes of creating anew what has already been established in lands where souls wander aimlessly seeking solitude. It is here where the song finds rest. It reveals the trail of tears that have been bottled, now unleashed, whetting one's appetite and leading to where one has always been. As finding its way to me is its sole purpose, I avail myself to the discovery of the hidden treasures in every rally that has presented itself to me as a dead end to see life's glimmer crack through the hot pavement in a soiree of swirly heat while engaging chaotic company in the hopes of finding some peace. I have come so far from the known path, and this only serves to encourage me to seek what I know to be hidden. I venture into the alcove of peripheral vision, and a clamor of hope arises within the decay of my dichotomy, erupting into a scream that releases a breath that beckons to my inner voice to be heard autonomously. The flower fades as the sun turns a blistery orange, and the wind carries the song on bated breath to lands afar on the ear of one searching for a semblance of normalcy while engaging chaos in the hopes of finding some peace. The grass withers. No hidden agenda or projections, allowing what has already unfolded to find its resting place within the walls of one's existence, having no desire to fix, prod, or change its dimensions or objective, but to accept, further progressing one in the dance of understanding without manifested knowledge, having all. This gives light to only what presents itself in its fullness, to be embraced and not collected, experienced and observed to the point of satiated contentment. The universal gift of nothingness is the ability to engage in nothing at all without derision or anxiety over the moment beyond the present, to be fully engaged in the moment at hand and allow all things their appointed time. We sup together in quiet vicissitudes as we agree to disagree, chipping away at the stone legend, chiseling a point to be taken both literally and figuratively, regurgitated until the anchor holds, and one belches disparity as an ally and not an enemy. I come to terms with the universal prospectus of necessity. Sitting face to face with disparity, communing under friendly fire, as I realize what had previously surfaced as an event against me is actually a battle raging within me. sitting face to face with disparity, communing under friendly fire as I realize what had previously surfaced as an event against me is actually a battle raging within me. The weeds threaten to choke the breath until the esophagus is blindsided by a thought, which explodes into volcanic eruptions at their peak, catapulting one to this place. I begin the slow ascent back into position while seated, in knowing